I bought this miter drop saw from Facebook Marketplace for 40 bucks, and it came with a 15 meter extension lead, which I thought was a pretty good bargain considering the size of this saw. Now, a couple of things I like to do when I'm buying things from Marketplace is firstly ask the owner if it works, which is an obvious question, and secondly, if they know of any issues. And this owner didn't know of any issues with this saw, so I was happy to buy it and bring it home. Now, before I operate it, there's a few things I like to do, and one of the major ones is to check it over to make sure there's no problems with the power lead. So checking for any nicks or scratches, exposed wires, that sort of thing, and this one looks pretty good. And the next thing I like to do before I even turn it on is to clean it all down, remove any debris, make sure all the parts are moving appropriately, and that way when I do turn it on, it just removes any additional hazards that may be in the way from it operating properly. So I'm just going to clean this first. Now, as you can see, obviously this hasn't been cleaned in a while because there's still wood in there and it's a bit dusty, and apparently it was just sitting in a shed and going unused for a long time, so I'm going to brush it all down and wipe it all over. Unfortunately, these screws are stuck and that one's actually stripped, so I've just sprayed some WD-40 on it to try and loosen them. But in the meantime, I can lift this up a little bit and get in there to try and remove some of the wood. I also check all the teeth on the blade to make sure that they are nice and sharp, that all of them are present, and that there's no damage. And this looks pretty good to me. When using a cleaner, I like to spray it on a rag and then wipe it over the item, because I don't want to be spraying this in any place where it's actually going to go inside the electrical motor. Now that we've given it the good clean, and it's actually cleaner than a lot of my other tools, it's time to test it. But before we do that, we need some ear protection, because we need to protect our ears, and some eye protection so we can be safe. Okay, I'm just going to test this by squeezing the trigger first, not doing anything else. Okay? Now that we've cleaned everything and it seems to be running okay, we're going to test it by cutting a piece of soft timber. Well, I think this is great. It cleaned up nicely, it cuts nicely, and it was a really good price, and I'm really, really happy with it. And it also saved me a couple $100 of buying something brand new when I could just reuse something that someone was clearing out.